Welcome to the Achieve Goals Fast Challenge. Who's ready for a powerful 2-day experience? Turn your cameras on so I can see your radiant, luminous, smiling faces from around the world. Welcome, everybody. Congratulations for being here. We've got a big promise, yes? You achieving one meaningful goal in 90 days. Who's already clear, crystal clear of what they are intending to bring out of the realm of ideas into actualization? You're in the right place at the right time to integrate precisely the mindset and the strategies that are required for you to step into your superpower identity. We're going to describe what that means and guide you step by step. So first, share with me, where in the world are you? Welcome, Julie. Welcome, Diane. Simon's in the house from England. I know that. Michael Matthews. Always a joy to be in your presence. Hello, Armene. Hello, Jolynn. And as you're sharing where you are in the world, let's see, we got San Francisco, Australia, the Netherlands, awesome, Mexico, Idaho, from all over the world. And share with me, coming into this challenge, where's your energy? Where's your state? Where's your frequency? If you were to describe your state right now in one or two words, how would you describe it? I'd love to hear. Grateful. Wisconsin, primo. Okay. Excited. Fantastic. So you have a gift, and this is about bringing you into alignment, in alignment with your unique purpose to accomplish one clear, specific goal. And who completed their questionnaire? Because some of you completed it in like the last 24 hours. You're giving me some little extra challenge there. I've been meditating with your questionnaires, preparing powerfully for your arrival. So right now we're going to dive straight in. Make sure you've got your cameras on so I can see your radiant, luminous, smiling faces. I've got multiple screens here so I can make sure to see everyone. Wonderful to be with you. How many are visuals where you'd like to also see some graphics, some slides, some things that support you in integrating from a visual perspective? So I've created some slides to support you in this journey. Let's dive right in, because we've got a very specific promise. We've got a very specific mission here today. It's about you achieving one meaningful goal in 90 days. So here's what's going to happen today. I'm going to guide you to activate what I call the triangle of achievement. This is aligning yourself, the inner game, aligning the goal itself, ensuring that it is smart, that it's well formed, and aligning the field, the context in which your goal is going to come through to fruition, the environment. I'm going to illuminate to you and show you and activate what it means. Some of you were very, I was smiling as I was reading the questionnaire. Some are like, I'm ready to step into my superpower identity. And what does that mean? So the superpower identity is the courageous, aligned, the courageous, aligned, authentic, on purpose expression of who you really are, the embodiment of your highest self. How many of you can tell that we've got a lower self that sometimes might show up with doubt, fear, scarcity, not enoughness? And then we've got our highest self, that bold, confident, compassionate leader within us all. So it's about activating that. Yelaine, so good to see you. So I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces who've been in courses with me before, and I'm seeing some new faces. How many of you have been with me before and you've experienced such profound breakthroughs and experiences? You're back for more. You're back for the next level. Okay. Good to see you, Mindy. Who's here for the first time? This is your first experience with me. Awesome. So wherever you are, welcome. Know that you're going to receive precisely what you came to receive. We have a beautiful community from around the world. So today, as I mentioned, you're going to be activating superpower identity, aligning with universal laws, and declaring one meaningful goal. Now, how many of you in the past have set goals, but there's been something that has maybe blocked your ability to bring it into fruition? Something within that may have caused resistance or doubt or hesitation and have caused you to step back. We're going to explore that tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to uncover inner obstacles. Who's excited about uncovering the root of inner obstacles and being guided through a process to begin to dissolve those and understanding how to dissolve those So we're going to uncover and we're going to give you insights into your own subconscious mind and how to release patterns that don't serve you so you walk the path of liberation and create a new beginning in your business, in your life, in any area that's important to you. So here's what's going to happen. And this week, by the way, is my birthday. So we're all here together on my birthday. It's my 50th birthday. Can you all believe it? I'm like, how did that happen? And as I'm sitting here really contemplating the 50 years, I started my company in the year 2000. So it's been over 25 years. The greatest joy once you experience something is to share. So today and tomorrow, I'm going to wholeheartedly give you as much value as I can possibly pack into this experience to empower you to have this breakthrough in 90 days. And then I'm going to show you how we can celebrate in 90 days. How many of you would like for us all to get together in 90 days so that we can celebrate what's happened here? We can witness each other in the fulfillment of these breakthroughs and have a community celebration of victory. So I'm going to give you as much as I can. And then at the end of tomorrow, I'm going to share with you the next level. So the next level is we have immersive transformative courses. And we have one that I only lead once a year that's literally happening in less than a couple weeks. So at the end, I'm going to share with you so you get the full spectrum of value so you make the wisest choice for you. Awesome? Cool? High five? Okay, fantastic. So what is this process that's going to happen of you accomplishing one meaningful goal? You're going to move out of your current state, which for some of you might be a little cloudy, might be a little unclear, or maybe it is clear, but it's a quantum leap into this goal achievement. And in order for this to be accomplished, nothing less than your totality is essential. All of you. Okay. What does that mean? That means turning off all distractions. That means sitting present in your chair. That means leaning in. This is a do with process. I'm going to be guiding you through some exercises, both here and in the VIP session. And your results are going to be directly proportionate to your participation. So who's ready to play full out, like to bring all of you, your heart, your mind, your soul, your vision, every aspect, your body, there you go, Julie, every aspect of your existence into this space with zero distractions to focus for the greatest outcome. Because the reality is goal achievement has everything to do with your power to focus. And one of the things that's going to be happening over these next 2 days is you're going to have breakthroughs. Who knows the feeling of a breakthrough? Who knows that feeling? If you've been in class with me before, you felt it. It's like where all of a sudden you have an aha and how that feeling of expansion, like all of a sudden contraction becomes expansion and you can feel your entire experience of reality recontextualizing itself in light of this breakthrough. Who's had that before? Okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to experience breakthroughs. And when you experience breakthroughs here, it could be through something I share, an exercise, a visualization, something someone else shares, whichever way you experience breakthroughs is the perfect way for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to celebrate the breakthrough by putting a big capital B in the chats. Can everybody do that? Can we get a big capital B in the chats? And as you're putting that capital B, you're not only acknowledging the breakthrough to yourself and everyone in class, you're also sending a message to your own subconscious mind, to the depth within you going, hey, insights are happening, breakthroughs are happening, which begins to create even more neural pathways. We're going to talk about that in the direction that you are inspired to go. So we're going to celebrate breakthroughs. Everybody got that? And then in the VIP room, we may have some time to share some breakthroughs. This is the breakthrough gong. So sometimes I will celebrate your breakthrough with a sound, boom. And then when you can all cheer, let your body know, because how we move our body influences how we feel. Okay, so here's the first distinction. Is the goal that you've set to achieve in the next 90 days, and tell me in the chat, is it a goal that is an end unto itself, or is it a milestone towards a bigger goal. So for example, let's say some of you put fitness goals in here, and some of you are pretty close to your fitness goals. So someone might be like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds of body fat and gain 3 pounds of lean muscle. And they're close to that. So to achieve that in 90 days, totally measurable, totally achievable. Now, if someone's 200 pounds overweight, that they can't have a goal to do their from where they are to their ultimate outcome. It would be a milestone towards a bigger goal. Okay. So share with me real quick in the chats. Do you have a goal that is an end unto itself? Or do you have a milestone? Okay. So awesome. So the way that we are achieving this goal, the first step in this creative process, I call stepping into your superpower identity. We're going to describe what that means. Stepping into your superpower identity. When you are stepping into your superpower identity, it is creative consciousness, not reactive consciousness. That's one way where you know. If someone's in reactive consciousness, I'm going to take out my red flags, okay? Reactive consciousness is like blaming, putting the cause outside the self. It wasn't me, it was that person. Blaming, minimizing, denying, justifying, trying to look good, trying to not look bad. These are red flags, which is reactive consciousness. So one of the keys is the awareness is, am I in creation? How powerful would it be to have the awareness from moment to moment? Am I in conscious creation or am I in reaction? That's one distinction. Am I in a state of expansion or contraction? Superpower identity is an expansive state. Fear creates contraction. So these are some distinctions, and I'm going to give you a formula in a moment. Superpower identity moves forward with courage and faith in the face of fear. Okay, that's one way that you know that you're embodying that. So let's explore what specifically that means and what that looks like for you. So we're going to step into the superpower identity. And as we do, which I'm going to guide you through in a moment, we're going to activate what I call the triangle of achievement. Okay. So the triangle of achievement is as you step into this courageous, bold, aligned, purposeful expression of who you really are in this space, you're aligning your inner game. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Then you're aligning the goal itself, making sure it's smart, structured wisely for the path of least resistance, and then aligning the field, which is the environment and also includes the universal laws. So I'll share with you a little story about me. That's me when I was not in my superpower identity. How many of us one more time are meeting for the first time? Let me take a look. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. So I'll share with you a little bit about my story. So I ran away from home when I was 15 years old. Very frustrated, a lot of trauma in my life. I lived on the streets as a little girl. I was not in my superpower identity. I didn't know what that was. I was being bombarded with inner frequencies of doubt. Tell me if you can relate to this. I'm sharing with you my story. Doubt, fears, insecurity, not enoughness, hesitation, scarcity, overwhelm, resistance. Can anyone relate to this? Tell me if you can relate to this. If you can't, say no in the chats. I just want to see. Maybe you're already in that superpower if you can't. Can you guys relate to this? Okay. Some of you might not. Like you've never experienced self-doubt. If you've never experienced self-doubt, maybe you need to raise your standards to a higher standard of goal so that you can grow from that. Because as we raise our standards and grow, we are going to feel fear. This is part of the human experience. The question is, which is the voice? Which is the frequency that is driving your life? Is it the voice of doubt or is it the voice of courage? Is it the voice of fear or is it the voice of a higher purpose? Okay. The people who have achieved the most extraordinary goals on earth, it's not that they don't feel self-doubt and fear. They do. You could hear countless podcasts and conversations where they're being very vulnerable and they share that they do. They just face that fear and they move forward in spite of it. Okay. So what I didn't realize at the time is I ran away from home at 15 and I realized, how many of you have ever had a time in your life where you realize what you're doing isn't working and you're like, I've got to do something else? Has anybody ever had that? And you know inside deeply that you're destined for more, even though you haven't manifested that result. Anybody there now? So I started searching and I started reading and I started studying insatiably. And I started applying everything I learned to my life. And I started recognizing that my thoughts were creating my reality, that I was frequenting thoughts that were not serving me. And all of a sudden, without having very scientific guidance back then, I began to interrupt those disempowering thoughts. I began to create practices to redirect my consciousness, my mind wisely. I didn't realize it when I was in my early teens that I was actually reprogramming my mind through the science of neuroplasticity, which you're going to be learning a lot about today. Who's hearing about neuroplasticity for the first time? Let me take a look. If you are, raise your hands. You guys have heard about it. Who's heard about Jack? Awesome. Who's heard about neuroplasticity, but you may not be that familiar? You're excited to learn more. Who's an expert of neuroplasticity in the room? Okay, we got a couple. We know we got to have a few in the house. So let's read this out loud together. And I'm going to invite you to read it with me so you get this in your nervous system. You could hear your own voice say it. Say it together with me. Neuroplasticity, and say I, is my brain's superpower. Neuroplasticity is the remarkable ability that my brain has to reorganize itself and to form new neural connections. The next one you don't have to say is I, because it may apply to you or not, but let's read it together. Neuroplasticity reveals that patterns of self-doubt, worry, overwhelm, or anything, frankly, that have become ingrained in your brain are not permanent. You have the power to consciously reshape these neural pathways, replacing old habits with new empowering habits of consistent progress and goal achievement. And the science of neuroplasticity proves you can rewire your mindset, your behavior, and your brain for success and fulfillment. Who's ready to apply this right here and right now for a breakthrough in goal achievement? So I began applying it in my early teens before I even knew the word neuroplasticity. And within a short period of time, and share with you a little bit about my background story, since many of us are meeting for the first time, I went from this teenage runaway to becoming the student body president of the largest community college in the United States. Over 100,000 students, Miami-Dade Community College. And that was a huge jump. That was one of the first realizations, the power we have. Now, there was milestones along the way. I went from having a 1.6 grade point average in high school, being a high school dropout, to earning a 4.0 in college. How does that happen? Through the virtue of neuroplasticity, which you're going to learn. And then from here, I went on to work directly with this man. Who knows who this guy is? Tell me in the chats. You know this face? Okay. So I worked with Tony Robbins closely. I was his record-breaking #1 corporate trainer. I broke all the records in the company. I worked with him from 1995 to the year 2000. He said to me when I first met him, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And right now you are all in a moment of decision. I want to acknowledge that. You've made the decision to show up here. You've made the decision to achieve one meaningful goal in 90 days. You made the decision. Who completed their questionnaire? Raise your hands to the heavens. That's a powerful decision. That was a prerequisite to the goal achievement. I'm giving you a high five in that. So you've made those decisions. Those decisions are presupposing the next level of your success. So there I was at 19 years old. I traveled with Tony from 1995 to 2000. In 2000, I launched my own company. When I was working with him, I was introducing him on stage at all of the events. So at 19, I was introducing him in front of 5,000 to 6,000 people at Madison Square Garden. And then fast forward decades later, when I started my own company, I was blessed, which was also a vision, a goal I had, to be on tour with my own company, not working for Tony, be on tour with Tony for several years through all of Canada. And I spoke for the 90 minutes right before he spoke. So this was a vision, a goal. How many of you have ever had a vision or a goal that at some point in your life you thought, wow, this is a big one. How am I going to make that happen? Okay. By the way, it's not an easy spot on stage to speak right before Tony Robbins for 90 minutes, in front of 6,000 people every 2 months for over 2 years. Okay. So how was that accomplished? One way, I'll tell you with certainty, it was stepping into the superpower identity every moment before I went on that stage, every moment of conscious creation. So final quick slide on me, just so we get to know who I am. So you guys get to know that this is not my first rodeo. Okay. I've been around since the beginning. I see in the questionnaires, there's many coaches. How many of you are coaches in some capacity? Executive coach, life coach, business coach. You're looking to grow your coaching business, or you might be an entrepreneur who coaches your team, coaches your staff, coaches the people that if you're an entrepreneur, you've got to be a coach, right? So, I was there in the very origin of the coaching business, before the coaching business became the boom that it is today. So final quick story on me. Here's some of the legends. How many of you recognize some of these faces? Anybody heard of Les Brown? Okay. Anybody heard of Dennis Waitley? He's one of the original pioneers in personal development. How about John Maxwell? There's John and I when we were opening the Day for Success magazine. He's one of the greatest leadership coaches in the world. We see John Assaraf, who's one of my dearest friends. I just got off the phone with him yesterday. Michael Beckwith, Brian Tracy. These are all legends. On the right is Sharon Lecter. She's business partners with Robert Kiyosaki. I share this with you so you know there's depths of decades of integrated background to support you in your journey of transformation. So as I'm guiding you through this experience, we're bringing in applied neuroplasticity, and we are also bringing in the science of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. Who's familiar with NLP? If you've been with me before, you definitely are, okay? Anybody who's new to the call today, who's new to the technology, the science of NLP? So let's understand what is the NLP and what happens when you bring in neuroplasticity and NLP together. It creates this incredible amplification of your ability to achieve goals. Actually, do you guys see that slide? Hold on a second. NLP, make sure you got the right slide. Navigating a lot of perceptual positions. Okay. So NLP is a methodology. Can you read this with me so you get it in your body, even if you already know what it is? It's a methodology to reprogram your own brain. I want you to understand where this is coming from. How many of you are excited to know where is this coming from? Niurka's teaching us this stuff to achieve goals. Where is that coming from? Who wants to know the source, the origin, the foundation, the science behind the teachings that I'm giving you? So I'm not just giving you teachings, I'm showing you the foundation, the science of where it's coming from. So neuro-linguistic programming, a methodology to reprogram, say it with me, your own brain. A psychological approach and a set of techniques to reprogram thoughts. Who would love that? Who's got some thoughts they'd love to reprogram? Anybody frequenting some thoughts that they could use a little reprogramming on? You're like, hey, can you give me the formula to interrupt those neural pathways of doubt and fear and overwhelm and scarcity and create neural pathways of enthusiasm, inspiration, gratitude, focus, determination, tenacity? Would that be valuable? Yes. Reprogram thoughts. How about reprogram emotions? Who's got some emotions that aren't serving you? Guilt, shame, fear, sadness, anger. Anybody got some anger? Anger is destructive. Okay. So tomorrow we're going to get into deep teaching on how to reprogram emotions and also behaviors. Okay. And we go deeper into those techniques also in advanced courses so that you achieve desired outcomes. It's the study and application of how language, behavior, and the nervous system interact to produce patterns. Who can tell that you have some patterns that maybe haven't served you in the past? Does anybody have any habits that you would like to experience for the very last time today? Everybody got some habits. You're like, if I could experience that habit for the very last time today, that would be really cool. Anybody got that? Okay. So that's what this technology is about. It's understanding how has your brain been wired? How do we interrupt those old neural pathways? And how do we begin to forge pathways that are in alignment with your true purpose, your highest destiny, the reason that you have incarnated into this existence? And how to reprogram those patterns to achieve desirable, rapid, lasting change. Now, my company that has been around for 25 years, we started in August of the year 2000. We are a global institute of applied neuroplasticity. Most recently, I have been working with world leading neuroscientists in the NPN Institute, which is the Institute of Applied and Organizational Neuroscience. Some of you met one of the founders a few months ago when we did an event. How many of you met Dr. J.J. Kennedy? So we did an event a few months ago. So we are an institute. We have neuroscientists recognizing our work, and we have an opportunity for you to not only go through this experience for your own transformation, you have an opportunity, for those of you that this is important to you, to learn about the certification process. How many of you would love to not only go through experiences like this for your own transformation, but you'd love to discover how you can evolve in this process on a journey to mastery, so then you can serve others and integrate this into your own unique work, into your own unique expression? See, I see Simon's one of the first person raising his hand, and I know he's going to accomplish it. I was reading his questionnaire. He's like, I'm ready to go. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got my business. I'm going to get my business on autopilot for the next 3 months, so it's generating revenue, and I'm going to dive straight into mastering this technology. So Simon, I read that, and I'm right here with you every step of the way. So we're also an institute of neuro-linguistic programming, also in hypnotherapy and in timeline therapy, with global recognition from very renowned boards. So you have an opportunity also, like I mentioned, to become certified. I actually see Guy here, who is one of our advanced students who has earned certification, and there's several who are in the certification process now. We'll see if they have time to share later today or in the VIP room. Okay. So now, who's ready to step into superpower identity? Superpower identity is a state of being. It is a state of consciousness. It is not something that is achieved and then it just, you don't have to work on it anymore. It is a continual state of being. So there is a difference between a state of being and a goal. I was reading a lot of the questionnaires, and some questionnaires were saying a state as if it was a goal. For example, I asked in the questionnaire, if you could achieve anything in the next 90 days, wave a magic wand, what will you achieve? There were several questionnaires that were saying, I want to experience freedom and peace of mind and feel confident in my work. Who can see that that is not a goal, that is a state? Okay, it's a state. So there's distinctions between states and goals. What happens a lot of times, tell me if anyone here has done this, sometimes people trick themselves and say, I won't allow myself to feel the empowered state until I achieve the goal. Has anyone ever done that? I won't allow myself to feel success unless I do ABC. I won't allow myself to feel a sense of victory unless this and this and this and this and this happens. Has anyone ever shortchanged themselves on feeling good because they've given a list of things that need to happen before you can feel happy, before you can feel joy, before you can feel peace, before you can feel freedom? Tell me in the chats if you've done that before. I'm curious to hear. Okay. What if you gave yourself the gift of the empowering state while you achieve the goal? Would that be a game changer? What if you gave yourself the gift of feeling peace, of feeling free, feeling freedom just in the moment while achieving the goal? Would that be valuable? Here's a few distinctions. And those of you that are in the VIP room, you're going to have these infographics in your dashboard so you can revisit them again and again. With states, you can experience them right now. I'm going to guide you through in a moment. If you want to experience a state of inner peace, you could experience that right now. There's a way to do that. If you want to experience gratitude, how quickly and how powerful is gratitude? Somebody can be in a state of anger and all of a sudden they shift their attention to gratitude. It shifts their state. So for states, you can experience them right now. With goals, there's time involved. Got that? Okay, states I could experience now. I could experience the feeling of freedom now. Even if someone doesn't feel free, can they experience freedom in their consciousness? Can they experience freedom if they close their eyes and access that frequency of freedom? Yes. So states are more ambiguous. Like if I said to someone, define freedom, and I asked everybody in the room, we might define freedom a little differently, right? Goals are specific. These are very specific. $100,000 or more in the next 90 days or sooner. Who gets how specific of a goal that is? Okay. That is specific. So with states, they can be infinite. You talk about freedom, you talk about love. These are infinite. With goals, they're measurable. Okay. 20 VIP clients or more in the next 90 days or sooner. How many of you wanted more clients as part of your goal? Because I read that a lot in the questionnaires. Okay, so I saw that a lot. By the way, I can help you with that. I've been doing that a long time. So, whoops. The next one is states there's really no steps. I mean, you could say there's steps, but they're quick. They're very quick. You can embody that now. With goals, there's milestones. There's steps to take to bring that through to fruition. And it's important to take the appropriate steps for that goal in the appropriate order. So for states, you can state them for yourself and for others, right? Peace. For goals, this is really about you, okay? Or for your children. I saw there's someone in the room who's got a beautiful goal. I'm super fired up to help you achieve this goal, to have your young child read and write correctly. I love that. So it sounds like the child's been navigating some challenges. See, this is something that we can absolutely support. How do we help this child create these new neural pathways in the brain? Okay. So there's a formula for your state. Who's ready for the first step? The first step in your formula, I'm going to give you 5 ingredients right now to step into your superpower identity. 5 essential foundational ingredients. The first ingredient to stepping into your superpower identity is your physiology. Your physiology, how you move your body influences how you feel. So this diamond right here is a formula that is foundational. It's like step 1 to stepping into your superpower identity. So the first is physiology. If someone walks into a room and you don't know them, can you tell if they mean business just by looking at their body? Can you tell if they're confident based on how they're moving their body, how they're breathing, how they're standing? Can you? How you move your body influences how you feel. I'm going to give you an example. In a moment, I'm going to ask everyone in the room to sit in your chair as if you're bored out of your mind and really exaggerate it. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. Boy, that's exciting. Some of you didn't even need to move. All right, so on the count of 3, I'm going to have you snap out of it. I'm going to have you snap out of it, and I'm going to have you sit on the edge of your seat as if you knew the next thing that I was going to say was going to be the ultimate breakthrough. It's the reason why you came. It was going to give you insights that were going to completely quantum leap your results in life. Ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go. On the edge of your seat, forward, leaning in, ready. Does that feel different? Just feel that in your nervous system. If this feels different, raise your hands to the heavens. If this feels different, put a yes in the chats. Okay. How powerful would it be, my dear beloved friends, to live life ready? Who would love to live life ready? Doesn't matter what's happening. Life brings you an opportunity, you're ready for it. The elevator door opens and all of a sudden you see Oprah and you're like, you smile like, Oprah, of course it's you. You're like ready for the conversation. How many of you have ever had an opportunity show up that could facilitate the fulfillment of your goal, but a part of you wasn't ready and you hesitated, stepped back, and maybe turned the other way? Has anybody ever had opportunity right in front of your face and a part of you wasn't ready? Okay, so superpower identity is activating this readiness. And here's a distinction. Your body becomes ready before your mind becomes ready. It's much easier to get your body ready than it is to get the mind ready. So you activate it. How do you do that? You sit up tall, you lean in, you bring your attention into the present moment. And as you bring this physiology into the present moment, it starts automatically activating your focus. You start focusing through the virtue of your physiology in the direction you want to go, rather than focusing on the old doubts or fears. Is this making sense? Remember, if you have any breakthroughs while I'm chatting, put them B's in the chats, okay? I'll make sure we get those B's in there. Now, here's the thing, which I'm not going to get into in this class because we could do a whole other master class on this. One of the keys to physiology and your superpower identity is what you consume. It's not too easy to step into your superpower identity if you're like eating Skittles and seed oils and stuff, okay? So eliminating processed foods, eliminating seed oils, eliminating bad sugars, being very conscious to eliminate starchy grains that are weighing you down and creating mental fog. Who can relate to what I'm saying? This is imperative. I'm not going to go into a whole healthy, protocol right now, but how many of you can see that in order to embody your superpower identity, you've got to put fuel inside that honors your body? Whole foods, proteins that are high quality, fresh water, okay? This is foundational. So everybody's got the first ingredient? So check your body right now. On a scale from 0 to 10, tell me in the chats, if 10 is the physiology of my superpower identity, where's your physiology right now? Okay. In a moment, I'm going to guide you to an activation, but I want you to start feeling where you are right now. Okay? 8, 9, 7. How many of you could start to get the distinction of what it would mean to go from 7 to 10? Who's starting to see it? Maybe you haven't embodied it yet, but who's starting to recognize the difference between 7 and 10? You got it, Fritz? Because you want to know those distinctions so you can calibrate. Okay, before I was 6, now I'm a 10. Okay, so the first ingredient is your physiology. How you move your body influences how you feel. So do your best right now before we get to the activation, because I got a couple other steps, to activate a level 10 of your superpower identity in your body right now while you're sitting in this chair. That means your spine is elongated. That means you're feeling a sense of expansion. You're being lifted. You're not collapsing into yourself. How many of you have ever had that moment where you're just collapsing into yourself? Okay, feeling expansion. So the second ingredient in your formula, Tracy, I love seeing you, beautiful. Awesome to be here with you, is your language, your communication, your language with others and yourself. It's not just your language with others. In this class, I want to focus more on your internal dialogue. How many of you know that little voice inside your head that's always talking to you? How many of you have got that little voice? Who's going, what voice? What is she talking about? What voice? That's the one. Okay. Who's got a whole committee? Anybody got a committee up there? You're like, what voice? I got like voices. Okay. So this voice, this inner dialogue has power. So here's one distinction. I'm just going to teach it to you now, or I'm going to give you an insight. I'm not going to fully teach this because I could spend a whole 90 minutes on this topic, but I'm going to give you the distinction. Okay. Superpower identity communicates differently with oneself and with others. Superpower identity, when communicating with oneself, asks questions purposefully. How many of you in the past have asked questions that disempower you in your quiet moments with yourself? Who's ever asked yourself questions like, oh my gosh, what if I'm not cut out for this? What if it doesn't work? What if I don't have what it takes? What if I'm not good enough? What if I screw it up? What if I just, show up and then I don't know what to say and I mess it all up and I embarrass myself? What if, how many of you have ever said these types of words, that little voice inside your head? Come on, let me know. Okay, give me a yes in the chats if you've done this. Welcome to the human experience. And if you're a no, I'd like to explore your mind because I don't think that's accurate. These are thoughts that we all have. The question is, are they taking center stage or are they kind of in the backdrop? Or I won't say that we all have. I would say that we've all had at some point in our lives, possibly. Okay. Would that be more accurate? So here's the distinction. Superpower identity asks questions with purpose. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? It says, who do I know that I can align with so that I can learn this to create extraordinary results? Superpower identity doesn't say, gosh, why is this so hard to make money in business doing what I love? No, superpower identity asks the question like, how can I be even more aware of the opportunities around me right now? And how can I take action on those opportunities to create extraordinary results? How many of you can see that there's a huge teaching on the power of questions? Tell me if you agree with this in the chats. The quality of your life mirrors the quality of the questions you ask. True or not true? So, how many of you would love for me to guide you through a powerful teaching on the power of questions? Questions that your superpower identity would ask, the highest expression of you. I'm going to guide that today in the VIP room. So in the VIP room, I'm going to give you a teaching on the power of questions, and I will even coach you on the questions that you are asking and have been asking yourself. So superpower identity, as you activate this physiology, go ahead and check in with yourself. Okay, where's your physiology? Did you collapse in or you, okay? What happens is it impacts your focus. You start focusing in the direction you want to go, not the direction of what isn't working. And then ultimately it begins to impact your beliefs and your identity. Now, can you all tell that beliefs are a little bit deeper than just shifting your physiology? So, how many of you have had some beliefs in the past that show up in the present, that take you out of your center, out of alignment, out of your power? Tomorrow, we're going to explore that. Where do these beliefs even come from? And how do you gather learnings and insights and realizations that allow those old beliefs to dissolve in light of a new awareness, in light of a new understanding? So let's do this. Everyone, if you could sit up tall in your chair. Sit up tall in your chair and just shake your body out for a moment and have a sip of water wherever you are. Okay. Elongate your spine. Open your heart center. And feel a sense of expansion in your body. I'm just going to guide you through a short mini activation right now. Who'd love to experience a little activation in your superpower identity right here, right now? Yes? Okay. So just elongate your spine, open the heart center, allow yourself to come into a sense of expansion in your chest, and just allow yourself to feel like you're being lifted from the heavens above. And just in this sense of expansion, just relax for a moment. And notice how easily you can inhale 3 deep, rejuvenating breaths. Go ahead and inhale, deep breath in. And just pause for a moment, just honor the space between the breath. Just honoring that infinite silent space. And as you exhale, gently blow the air through your lips. Gently blow the air. Inhale another deep breath in. Honoring the space between the breath. And just when you're ready in your own time, just gently exhale. Just blowing the air gently through your lips. Just honoring that infinite silent space between the breaths. Whenever you're ready, just inhale another breath. It's like a cleansing breath, rejuvenating, cleansing breath. That life force energy filling the entire inner sanctum of your being. And then just gently exhale when you're ready. Bring all of your awareness, all of your attention and intention into this moment. And now notice how easily you could think of a time, any time, whichever one comes to mind first is the perfect one for you. Just think of a time where you achieved a meaningful goal. Think of a specific time where you achieved a meaningful goal. It was meaningful for you. And when you've got that experience in consciousness, just nod your head and acknowledging that you've got that. First one. And just allow yourself to go into that memory right now, fully and completely in consciousness with your eyes closed. Allow yourself to go into that experience right here, right now, fully in consciousness, where you're looking out through your own eyes in this moment of victory, this moment of goal achievement, this moment of celebration where you know it is done. And notice what you see in your mind's eye. Notice what you feel. Just allow the colors, keeping your eyes gently closed or soft gaze, make the colors bigger and brighter, crisper and clear, even more vivid, and allow it to amplify and feel the feelings of this victory, this goal achievement. What is the feeling of this goal achieved? How does that feel in your body? What sounds do you make? As you're feeling this goal achieved, you're looking out through your own eyes as if it's happening right now. You're in the moment of now. You're looking out through your own eyes. It's happening right now. This goal being achieved. Notice what you see. Notice what you hear. Notice what you feel. What sounds do you make? Say that sound right now. Is it like yes? Is it like, yeah? Is it like, it's done? I've got it. What sound do you make in that moment of goal achievement? Go ahead and make that sound right now. How does your body move in that moment of goal achievement? Do you move your hands up to the air and you go, yes? How does your body move in this moment? Move the way you move right here, right now in this space. Where's your face? Are you smiling in this moment of goal achievement? Is there a big smile on your face? Let that smile radiate through your face and feel that feeling, because on the count of 3, we're going to double it. We're getting ready to double it. 1, getting ready to double it. 2, right now, taking it all the way to a peak, and double it. Go. Feel that good feeling. The feeling of victory. Yeah. How does it feel? How does it feel when you are in a feeling of victory where you like, I've got this, it's done? How are you breathing in that state where you know it is accomplished right here, right now, where you're celebrating? So breathe that in and feel how good that feels. And put a smile on your face, and when you're ready, come out. How does that feel in that state? Who had a vivid experience in consciousness? You could see, hear, and feel. Give me a yes in the chats. Good to see you, Niurka. Good to see you, Harold. So anchoring your superpower identity. Anchoring it. There's a term in Greek called entelechy. Who's heard of the term entelechy? The philosopher Aristotle said it's the entelechy of an acorn to become the mighty oak tree, and even to evolve into the entire oak forest. There is entelechy within you. Entelechy is the essence, the evolutionary impulse that seeks to become all it is destined to become. Entelechy is the fulfillment of potential. It is the actualization of your highest potential. And it is not something outside of you. It is encoded within your existence, the same as the acorn is encoded into the mighty oak tree and oak forest. So what is required for the acorn to fulfill its highest destiny, to accomplish its true purpose? What is most essential is the environment. That's part of the triangle of achievement. The environment. The acorn going into nourishing soil and luminous light and fresh air and purifying water. And when the conditions are properly set, its unique expression sprouts forth into the fulfillment of its journey of evolution. And so it is with us. So there's an entelechy within you. So the distinction is, and there's techniques for this, but here's the teaching. When the voices of scarcity, doubt, fear, not enoughness come in, how many of you prior to today allowed those voices to take center stage? Did anyone allow the voice to take center stage? It's like the voice sat at the center stage of the director in your life. Imagine this. Your highest self, the queen or king archetype within. Who's familiar with the word archetype? Okay, these are templates of consciousness. So is there a difference between the king or queen archetype and the pauper archetype? The pauper, who's always broke. Is there a difference between the king or queen archetype and the hurt little girl or the hurt little boy archetype? Who can relate to this? How many of you have let archetypes that haven't served you in the past take center stage? So a distinction that we guide more in our advanced courses, because this takes more of an activation, but you can imagine this. Imagine the king or queen within you, in your inner world, sitting upon the throne of what you're creating, this goal in 90 days, in alignment with higher purpose. The doubts or fears, or a buzzword these days is imposter syndrome. Anybody heard of that? These different frequencies can come up, and the benevolent king or queen can hold court and listen to these expressions, but ultimately is the sovereign self, the superpower identity, who makes the choice. I wish I had time to guide you through that activation, because it's very powerful. But how many of you are starting to get a vision of it just by me sharing with you that story? Give me some feedback in the chats. If any of you can feel like even breakthroughs emerging in the presence of it, I'm curious to hear, okay? Because this is a different state of consciousness. And when you activate superpower identity, miracles happen. Miracles happen. I'll give you an example of a few case studies, some from our company and others, colleagues and friends that I have. How many of you know that Alex Hermosi, you might not be aware of who he is, but this is an example of achieving big goals, which was achieved because of milestones. Alex Hermosi, just a couple months ago, maybe even a month ago, I don't remember the exact date, broke the world record for the fastest selling nonfiction book. Over 2.9 million copies in one day. In one day. Now, has anybody ever thought, wow, my goal is hard, how am I going to make that happen? Anybody labeled their goal as hard or challenging or just out of reach? Can you compare your goal to selling 2.9 million nonfiction books in one day? So there were milestones. He actually had created 2 books, like there was a long-term strategy. So goal achievement has these milestones that lead to it. In a moment, we're going to make sure that yours are structured wisely. Let's see if Jen is in the room. I'm not sure if Jen is in the room. Jen has been with me for over 15 years. When she first came to our advanced NLP certification course, SIA, Supreme Influence in Action, she doubled her business. Then she came back again and her business grew even more. And it's not just business. I was in the room when Jen had her breakthrough. Let me see if she's in the room today. She's usually in our room often. When she had her breakthrough, not just in business, when she decided that she was going to become a mom, where she didn't think she was going to be a mom her whole life. She was going to be a successful businesswoman. So all of a sudden she reached her business goal. She doubled her business. She decided to become a mom. She has amazing 2 boys, a wonderful husband, and now she's just launched another business. So she's an entrepreneur of 2 successful businesses. But that is an example of achieving goals fast. I love to share case studies because there's something in in neuroscience called a mirror neuroning, which means that as you're seeing other people accomplishing goals, that begins to create those neural pathways in your own mind where you look and you're like, hey, if they could do it, I can do it. If they can do it, I can do it. Give you a couple other examples of goal achievement. Okay. Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna play that video, and I'm gonna leave that video because of time into the next session. I'm just gonna tell you her story. This woman came to me living in a fog. I have a powerful video that I'm going to show about her. It's only 1 minute, but I'm going to save it for the VIP room. She came living in a fog. She had a goal of hitting $250,000. That was her goal for the year. She applied everything. She far surpassed her goal. What is even more amazing than this is she began creating her own brand and leading people around the world with her own teaching. She's a best-selling author. She's a mom of 2 beautiful twins, and she's an example of the power of this work in action. Okay. So one key important thing is that your goal achievement is in alignment with your unique purpose. Here's another student of ours who was inheriting the largest orthodontist. Can you guys see that? Can you see her? Okay. I had a glitch in my. She was inheriting the largest orthodontics practice from her parents in Brazil. But she realized she didn't want to be an orthodontist. She's like, I don't want to be in people's mouths all day. That's what she said to me with all the respect. So she recognized that she had a pathway carved to financial abundance greatly, but that wasn't her dharma. That wasn't her unique purpose. So she decided that what she really wanted to do was become a fine arts photographer. She followed her path, and now her art is featured all over the world in galleries. Okay. So, everybody got that formula for superpower identity? Where's your physiology? That's number 1. Where's your language? We're going to go deeper into that into the VIP session. It's activating your focus, which is also activating your beliefs. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, and your identity. Ultimately, your identity. Here's the key about identity. What are you currently speaking after the words I am? Who said some disempowering things after the word I am? Oh my gosh, I'm so slow. I'm not getting this. I'm so old. I'm so fat. I'm so anxious. The word I am is an invocation. Whatever you speak after the words I am, you attract, you create, and you become. Be very aware of what you speak after these words, because what you speak will come find you. Okay. Someone says, oh my gosh, I'm so broke. Broke will come find you. And not only that, with the power of neuroplasticity, if someone says, I'm so fat, I'm so broke, I'm so anxious, who can see that they're creating neural pathways in that direction? So we're going to interrupt that and do this by design. So now that we have a foundational formula to activating superpower identity, how many of you can tell that this takes practice? Everybody can see this takes practice? It's not a destination. It's an ongoing showing up and being fully present in life. So now let's explore the goal itself, because the triangle of achievement is first the self, second the goal. Making sure this goal is SMART. What does SMART stand for? SMART stands for it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant. For example, if your goal has to do with AI right now, that's really relevant. And it's time bound. If your goal is SMART based on this is the reason why I gave you the questionnaires as a prerequisite, because we're covering a lot today. How many of you could feel that the questionnaire helped you get that goal SMART? Who could feel that the questionnaire was designed to help you get into that place? There you go, Harold. Okay. So on a scale from 0 to 10, is your goal specific? Give me a 10 if it's specific. On a scale from 0 to 10, is it measurable? Okay. Are there numbers? Can you measure it? Certain number of financials, like Alana's been with me forever. She has a goal of doing 300,000 in the next 3 months. She's very clear on it. And she has a track record of success with it. Is it achievable? Is it achievable within 90 days? Is it relevant based on what's going on in the world right now? Okay. And is it time bound? We all know it's time bound because we said 90 days. I love the case studies in our community because they show the power of this. So here's Tracy Hennessy. She's a realtor in California. We've got so many mega agents that are graduates of our courses. She had a major surgery that affected her in a significant way. Within 1 year of completing our advanced course, SIA, she tripled, which stands for Supreme Influence in Action. She tripled her income from the best year she had ever had in her career. And she made the top 1,000 realtor list in California. Another one of our students is Jesse Weinberg. He's the #1 real estate agent in the United States for Keller Williams. That's #1 out of over 100,000 agents, okay? How did he achieve that goal? One of our students. He accesses his superpower identity as a daily practice every day, routines and habits. He said that the experience he had with us was one of the most profound trainings he'd ever been to. Again, consistent practice. It's like going to the gym. Anybody figure out how to go to the gym once and be lean, ripped, healthy, and fit? Because I would love to hack your strategy. Anybody got that down? Who can get to the gym, be lean, healthy, ripped, and fit? Like, we got to go back. We got to go back. That's the power of building muscle. Well, it's the same thing with a muscle in your mind. It's a continuous practice. So let me give you some real powerful keys to make sure your goal is well formed. And first, how we doing, everybody? Give me some feedback in the chats. One of the things I love about the VIP room, by the way, and if you're not yet in the VIP room, my team's going to drop the links to make sure you're in there, is the main session has a lot of content. In the VIP room, we get to interact. In the VIP room, I get to start asking you what your experience has been, and we do coaching, and there's a lot of interaction that happens. The VIP is going to happen right after this session, Julie. So this session is going to end in a little over half an hour. We're going to probably go a few minutes over, and then we'll have a short break, and the VIP begins at 1 p.m. Pacific time. But it's going to allow us to slow down a bit and really interact. So this is the foundational teaching. VIP is the accelerator. So make sure that you go into the VIP, because in VIP, I'm going to be able to give you feedback on your specific goals. I've been sitting here. I've got all your questionnaires right above me, to the right of me. And that's where we're going to begin to bring this teaching into you personally, guiding you personally through this experience. So the team will drop the link to make sure you have it. So now let me guide you through a few questions. Is your goal stated in the affirmative? Like, there were a few of you that said, I don't want to struggle with money. I heard that in some of the questionnaires. I don't want to worry about money anymore. How many of you can see that's not, can you guys see that's not stated in the affirmative? So stated in the affirmative is it's stated in the positive. I did a training years ago for Mercedes-Benz, and I guided them through this. And one guy's goal was to not be a procrastinator. That is, not be a procrastinator is not stated in the affirmative, and it's going to reinforce procrastination because procrastination is dominant in the field. Okay. So here's another essential condition for goal achievement. Is it self-initiated and self-maintained, meaning you are at cause for the fulfillment of it, meaning there are no codependencies. Of course, you're going to need people in a team, and the bigger the goal, the more people you're going to need and all of this. It's just not dependent on any one particular person or particular thing or particular circumstance. Has your goal in the past had a dependency outside of you? Based on the questionnaires, about 15% had goals that had outside dependencies. So I would suggest to pick a different goal. I remember when I launched my company, I decided that I was going to sign a deal that day. I was like, I'm not going home until I sign a deal. That was my mindset. If someone has that mindset, would that impact their results? Where there's no way this isn't going to happen? Where that's the way they approach it? So I remember I was going to go do a presentation for Mercedes-Benz, but I had already decided in my mind that if Mercedes-Benz did not align and become my client, I would go down the street to Porsche. And if they didn't, I would go down the street to Bentley. And if they didn't, I go down the street to BMW. So in other words, there was a clarity of outcome, clarity of intention, detachment from outcome. Does your goal have that? Does your goal have clear, specific intention and detachment from how a specific person doing a specific thing? It's not codependent, because it's imperative for that goal achievement. Does it increase choice? Is there more than one way to achieve it? You're not pigeonholed into one particular way. Does it increase choice? Is it appropriately contextualized? Do you know where, when, how, and with whom to accomplish it? I'm looking up here at some goals that I see that were not clear in that. I'm going to share with you, for example, here's an example of a goal that is not appropriately contextualized. It's not clear directly from the questionnaires. My mind, body, and soul are ready to obtain success in my personal life and become an entrepreneur. It's a beautiful aspiration. I honor it. And can we see that it's not grounded in a specific measurable result? Who specifically, what specifically, how specifically, by when specifically? Okay. So, you guys are doing awesome. You guys are doing awesome. Where's your energy? Share with me in the chats in one word. Let me do a quick check-in. Quick check-in with the group. Jillian. Ghislaine. Harold. Okay, fantastic. Here's the next one. Is the evidence procedure clear? What does evidence procedure mean? It's an NLP term that means what will you see, hear, and feel in consciousness that lets you know this is achieved? What are you going to see in your environment? What are you going to see in your home life? What are you going to see in your office? What are you going to hear from yourself, the people around you? What are you going to feel when you know this goal is achieved? The average answer in the room was 8 as far as how vividly you can see it. That's awesome. Now, here's another distinction. When you see the goal achieved, are you seeing it like you're embodying it, looking out through your own eyes? Or are you seeing it like far over there, like some photograph? Like you could see it all the way over there. How many of you can see it embodied through your own eyes? Say, put an M for my eyes. And if you're seeing it kind of further away to photograph, put the letter D for dissociated, which means you could see it, but it's a little dissociated. Okay. So one key to the superpower identity is bring that image in, step into it, embody it. That begins to activate it. We guide that in our advanced courses. Okay. Does any part of you object? Does any part of you, that you've written down your goal, does any part of you object? In the questionnaires, 50% of the group said a part of them would object. 50% of all the questionnaires. If a part of you objects, that creates roller coaster results. If a part of you objects, that causes one step to go forward and a couple steps to go backwards. Let me ask you this, and I'm going to ask everybody in the room right now. As you think about your goal, think about your goal. Everybody think about your goal. As you think about your goal, do you have a picture? Okay. Step into that picture right now as if it's happening and you're looking out through your own eyes. Does any part of you object to this, yes or no? Okay. You might have a little bit less objection as you're embodying it. So there's something in NLP called secondary gain. Secondary gain is when a part of you is holding on to an old habit because it's linking some form of benefit. Some of you is holding on to an old habit because it's linking some form of benefit. I'm holding on to this old way of being because it keeps me safe, it keeps me protected. Playing small keeps me protected, it keeps me in control. Does that resonate for you? where perhaps your higher self wanted to move forward, but a part of your subconscious mind was holding on to an old pattern because it gave you safety, protection, control, something of that nature? What would it be worth? I love Lori Smith. She says, not anymore. She's been showing up every week to our courses too, by the way. And Lori, I was reading in your questionnaire, we'll see if we had a chance to share, that you have been practicing what we did from our last training. And what happened? Would you just unmute yourself and share a little bit? Because let's just take that very quickly in less than a minute. So you've been showing up every week. I've been seeing you. As a matter of fact, you were scheduled for Tony Robbins's UPW the other day. Yes. And you left Tony Robbins's UPW to come into our training. And yes. So you've been very consistent. So I read in your questionnaire that you had said you wrote down some goals and that you had achieved them, and that you even just achieved one that was huge that you were like blown away by. Would you share a little quickly where you were before then this happened and you achieved these goals, and what's changed?
Well, it all started, I came into your community with the power of questions. It all started with the power of questions, and I adopted the strategy, the note card strategy. And every single day when I was walking, I was asking myself those questions, and I started to realize I'm in a higher level of consciousness. And I started, I set out to do my website, and thank you for the coaching on that, because I know what I need to do. I do have a call tonight to change my logo.
So what were the accomplishments? Like, just share one or two.
Yeah, so one of the accomplishments was, first of all, doing the website. I don't do that stuff. I got that done in 30 days.
That's awesome. And that ties into how many of you have wanted to launch your website, launch your podcast, launch your book, something of that nature, launch your product, launch your membership? Okay, so you got that done in 30 days.
Right.
And then what was the next goal?
The next goal was to market effectively. So I came up with a strategy. I didn't want to do a one-off because I'm bootstrapping. So I'm finishing my broker package to get
and you've got all these brokers, as I remember, you've got all these brokers now to say that you get to come into their real estate offices, you get to be a part of what they're there to do. So they're now collaborating with you and supporting you.
That's exactly right. And that was not a strategy that I had.
See, so the power of collaboration. So she got the vision, got the goal, created the website, collaborated with brokers and real estate companies. Now they're bringing her in. Are you coming to the VIP room today?
Oh, of course. I wouldn't miss it.
Okay, wouldn't miss it. So we're going to have more chance to share in the VIP room. And there's countless stories like this in this room. And I'd love to share them, because we'll see how much time we have to be able to share them, because they are the difference that makes the difference. And we're going to be talking about that quite a bit. Give Lori some love. Okay. So let me give you some examples of how to make your goals smart. So someone put in the questionnaire, I'm so grateful for the clarity of my vision and success. How many of you can see that's a beautiful aspiration, but it's not grounded? Here's a SMART goal. This is one of the members in the room. Okay, this is directly, Yesenia, is this you? Okay. And I've seen Yesenia's growth over the last few months has been incredible, the growth you've had as you've been plugging into everything in our community. She says, I'm so grateful and excited. By January 31st, my savings have doubled. That's very clear, and that's very specific for her. And then she adds in some more very inspiring things. My business is thriving with a consistent flow of aligned clients, and I feel joy and stability and freedom of booking my trip to Bali. She's going to Bali with us. I lead a group there every 2 years, and she's got that set as her goal. She's coming with us into this space. She's declared it, she's being witnessed, and she wants to, and she's committed, not wants to, committed to take a trip with her sons. So this is clarity. There's a picture of us in Bali. The difference in those two is evident, yes? Let's do another example. Someone said in their questionnaires, buying land for showroom in 90 days. Can you see how that is not very specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, timely? Let's make it smart. This is another one that was in the questionnaires, and I thought this is very heart-centered. I'm so excited to replace my wife's income from work by January 31st. Now, someone else could have said business goals, sign 10 clients or more by January 31st or sooner. This is a heartfelt goal, and it's measurable, right? We know how much, or he knows how much the wife's income is, how to replace that. Okay. So that's a meaningful goal. Is that meaningful? Meaningful to the one who declared it, okay? Next one. I'm so grateful to have this is one actually from the questionnaires. I'm taking this from the questionnaires anonymously, lovingly to support you and coach you. I'm so grateful to have a well-received, successful product in the marketplace, providing for me and my family on January 31. Can you see how that's not specific, smart, measurable, achievable? It's too vague. Where, when, how, with whom? Here's one that I added a few words. This one was in the questionnaires, but I added the numbers financially. From the questionnaire, it had said, I have enrolled 15 new clients. I added the word aligned because some clients could be not as aligned. You might not want to invest time in that. Into a 6-month coaching program by January 31st, I added generating 45,000 or more by delivering excellent service. So it's tied back into numbers. It's tied back into results. I brought my Olympic bow, my Olympic archery bow. And I've had some of the world's leading Olympic archers coach me. And one thing that's amazing about the archers that hit the bullseye is when they're drawing the arrow, the bullseye and the heart, their heart is one with the target. The target is not outside of them. The world's greatest archers do not see the target outside of them. They see the target one with their heart. They're shooting in that state of being in a unified field. They don't see the goal outside themselves. They see themselves as one with the target, one with the goal. What would happen in your life if you saw yourself in alignment as one with your goal, one with the target? Here's one of my students who just wrote a book and became a bestseller. I'm going to quickly share with her share her case study. When she first came, she had a program, or she had a belief system that she needed to shrink to fit in, shrink to fit. And then she came. Actually, I'm just going to show you her pic. Let me see if we got so much exciting stuff to share with you here. Come out of this. Who would love to be a case study for us, where we could put you on the screen and celebrate your success? Celebrate where you've, awesome. So she used to feel like she needed to shrink to fit. And now she's got best. What was happening before, Sia? Then you came and now all these things.
It was like kind of like flatline. I had this thing before I had my breakthrough with you, with Sia and the other programs, that I shrink to fit. And I've always had that, and that was that doubting thing. And because my mother said blah, blah, blah when I was little, so I got rid of the shrink to fit. That was my breakthrough. Yes, I've written books and things like that, but never a best-selling book. I love what I did with you. So since then, I have the best-selling book, best-selling international author, which is a big deal, 13 categories. I was on a cover of a magazine for February. Valentine's Day is also my birthday, so this was my Super Bowl month. I've never had a month like February, like this, with all the media. 2 TV interviews with TV show spots on NBC. In talks right now with a lifestyle show. I did mind mapping and all sorts of things like that, but it's breaking through and knowing I can do it, and it's from Sia.
Can you feel her enthusiasm? Okay, her enthusiasm. She's like so lit up. So these are examples of the types of stories as we step into the superpower identity. Your enthusiasm is one of the frequencies that emerges. Okay. Do you guys love the case studies? Seeing the enthusiasm of success? Would you like to see one more? Let me give you another case study. That's great. And I started sharing with you about her, but I didn't do her video, but I want to share it with you now because it's so heartfelt. It is, oh my goodness. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, I have it here. It'll come to me in a moment. Slides. This multidimensional experience that I'm guiding. Ender, can you grab Andrea Lucchesi's video? I'd love to show her video during this session in a moment because her case study is so powerful. She went from living in a fog to fulfilling and living her life's purpose and creating an extraordinary brand. And now she has a following of students all over the world. So do you have your goal? Everybody's got their one goal before them in front of them. Yes, you've got your goal. Okay. So write it down. Write it down. Write down your goal. And I'm going to invite you to write it in the state that it's already done. So the assignment I gave you in the questionnaire was you were writing it for 90 days out. Right now, I'm going to have you write it as if it's already done. So write it, I am so happy and grateful now that blank is accomplished. Write it right now as if it is already done. Feel the physiology. Writing it as if it's already done, already accomplished. Awesome. Team, do you have Andrea Lucchesi before I go on to our next teaching on the environment now? Now we're going to be a few minutes over on today's session. Perfect timing, divine timing. If you have Andrea Lucchesi, please show that. And then we're going into the environment, the field, how to create alignment in the field. Okay. Awesome. Some of you are still writing. You want to put it in the chats? I'm gonna give you another moment because I could tell some of you are still writing. There you go, Harold.
Niurka, can I say something real quick?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Guy. Guy's been with me for many years. Go ahead.
You remember when you had Brian Tracy on and he said,
I'm going to teach that. By the way, don't talk about it completely. Don't give the instruction. I'm going to teach that in the VIP room. So tell about it, and then I'm going to teach that today in the VIP room.
Have not missed a day since the 13th of June, 25, when he was on.
And what's happened?
Clear direction for sure. They're mostly long-term goals, so not so much short terms, but the short terms are working as well.
Can you talk, just since you have the mic right now, where were you before we met? And where are you now as a result of graduating the courses and going through the experiences? You had huge breakthroughs. Just give a quickie. Before I met Niurka, I was here. Then I came to the courses. Here's what happened. Here's where I am now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a little lost after leaving the military. I knew what my purpose was. And after the military, when I was flying with the airlines, I was trying to discover what my purpose was. And you set me on a course that helped me align myself and figure out who I really was, so that my purpose in life was in alignment with who I am. That's really what happened. And that is an amazing place to get to. And my life has just been much at peace ever since. It's just been wonderful.
I love it. Awesome. Give Guy some love. Guy's been with us for how long? Guy, and he's traveled with us to Bali. His wife is also
it's 11 years now.
How many years?
11, over 11.
Okay, I love it. Okay, so let me share with you, give Guy some love. I'm going to share with you, we found Andrea Lucchesi's video, and then we're going to go straight into the environment. So listen to the enthusiasm. She is fully in her superpower identity.
Blown away by just the power and the truth that Niurka is able to elicit in me. Last year when I came, I was just living in a fog. A few months after I walked out of the doors, opportunity after opportunity after opportunity just kept showing up, and I realized very quickly that not only was I going to hit that goal of $250,000, but I was going to far surpass it. And what has happened from that is this beautiful new birthing of an idea to actually change the way that thought leaders are giving back to their community communities. And so I came back this year to gain even more clarity, and I know exactly what to do now and exactly what steps to take. And she brings another nugget or another breakthrough, and it's just like, you're just like vibrating in this frequency. It's amazing. And so now I get to leave with even more knowledge inside of me and this energy that's going to allow me to get to that next level. So everyone needs to be in the presence of Niurka. Everyone needs to get to an event. Everyone needs to experience this for themselves, because it's one of those things you can't always articulate in words, but you can feel it in your energy. And if you guys could feel the way that my body vibrates when I'm in the room, you all need to experience that, because from that place we can go out and co-create anything that we deeply want. So thank you guys so much, and thank you, Niurka, and your amazing team for helping me turn my dreams into a reality.
How awesome. So who would love to be celebrating and sharing their story of victory and success and inspiring others on their journey? Okay, so you've written down your goals here. Margarita, I see you there. I know Margarita's been with me for over a decade as well. Tracy, wonderful to see you as well. And what we will do is I'm going to coach you specifically on these goals in the VIP room. Hands-on tailored coaching. So let's go into our last segment on the environment. Are you ready? Give me a high five. Okay, fantastic. So the environment, that is the final aspect of the triangle of achievement. Stepping into your superpower, identity, and being mindful of the field. The field also considers universal law. Have you ever had an experience where you're trying to do everything yourself? Have you ever had an experience where you aligned yourself with the energy of creation in a way that facilitated an acceleration of your goals and vision through a state of grace rather than force? Have you ever experienced that? So the universal laws, now let's talk about the universal laws of achievement, the universal laws of creation. The first is, and I'm going to share a few here, we're going to go into all of them in the VIP room. The law of divine oneness. The law of divine oneness says that all life is interconnected. And when your goals serve the whole supports you. So things are interconnected. Just last week, we were in our membership program. I was guiding people to improve some of their brand material. And Roberta, didn't you shared about your beautiful your beautiful B&B? You have this beautiful bed and breakfast in the Dolomite Mountains in Italy. And all of a sudden, one of our community members says, wait, you have this beautiful place in Italy? We're going to come and we want to rent a place from you for a whole week. And then Guy is coming and staying in your place in Italy. That didn't happen through force. It happened because there was a field that was created. She was there with the right intention in a place of service, delivering in the community. She was in that place. She wasn't trying to sell Guy to come to her resort and make it happen. So all of a sudden, through the virtue of just being in the membership, he says, oh my gosh, Roberta. He even texted me afterwards and says, we're going to go spend a week there with Roberta. How awesome is that? That's an example of the law of oneness where grace begins to manifest. The next is the law of, and this is interesting, I'm going to share with you from science, because we have many world-leading scientists that are talking about the divine. They're talking about God. Michio Kaku has talked about God. Here is, before I go into the other laws, have you ever experienced creation with grace where you feel like there's wings of angels behind you? Have you ever experienced like you're being lifted, like you're not all doing it yourself, like you're clear on your intention, you're taking action, but there's like an alignment, there's a grace, there's an energy, there's a flow, there's like there's this pristine energy that is facilitating this creation within you. If you can relate to what I'm saying right now, give me a yes in the chats. Here's a world-leading scientist who is also Actually, I'll let him share with you. Listen to what he says about his discovery and then how this relates to the universal laws.
I came from China as an atheist. I believed nothing but science. I was studying the structure of eye in med school, and I realized that the human eye is so complicated. Trillions of cells has to line up perfectly for visual signal capturing and interpretation. That if any one of those cells gets out of line, the person will be born blind. So I had a big problem, and the atheist me at the time, that how could so many cells form in such a short period of time out of randomness? So I kept on asking a professor, and he said, "Ming, what's a cross street?" I said, that's a car. He said, "What's the difference between a car and a human eye?" I said, "Human eye is a lot more complicated." He said, "Okay, can you imagine how a random piece of metal form itself into a car?" I said, "No way." And he said, "How about human eye?" So right there, he opened a window in my life, making me realize that it was formed with a specific purpose for vision. So there's a designer, a creator behind that. And I start with my journey believing first there's a creator, there's a God.
How powerful. Okay. So science and spirituality converge. And as science and spirituality converge, and we tune into the spiritual essence that is the core of our existence, we accelerate our goal achievement. I'm going to share with you, if you're trying to do it all yourself, it's a lot harder. If you pause with a prayer, with an intention, with an attunement, you pause with a prayer, an intention, attunement, that may the path be revealed. This is my intention. May it unfold as I intend, or may something even better manifest, and you take action from this space of faith. One of the earliest quotes that transformed my life was the quote that with faith the size of a mustard seed, I will move mountains. And I thought to myself, how can that be that you can have faith this small and you can move mountains? That is a profound declaration. And I realized in my early years that to have faith this big, you cannot have doubt and faith in the same moment. And that when you are being sincere and you're focused on a goal that serves the greater good, serves others, it's good for you, it's good for others, it serves the greater good, that all of a sudden you activate a force that is greater than you to facilitate that. Have you experienced this before? If you have, give me a big yes in the chats where you felt that grace that flows through you and how to attune with that. So laws, here's another law, and I'm going to give them the law of intention. Law of intention. Whatever your intention is, your blueprint of creation. What is your intention? So you wake up in the morning, you're like, I intend to have an extraordinary day. Do you know that begins to reorganize your brain? Some people wake up and intend to have a crappy day. This is going to be a crappy day. You know, you wake up, you go, I'm going to have an extraordinary day. My intention is to be mindful of my physiology. My intention is to be mindful of what I eat. My intention is to connect with people and be loving and open. What is your intention? Another law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates. Are you vibrating in doubt, fear, not enoughness? Are you vibrating in enthusiasm, gratitude, inspiration? Because the law of vibration leads to the law of attraction. You draw to you not what you want, not what you desire, my friends. You draw to you what matches your frequency, what matches your being. The law of attraction also is the law of correspondence of energy. Law of correspondence of energy, as within, so without. What you're experiencing in your experience of reality is mirroring back to you, your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own identity. This is good news. It's the good news because it means you have the power to shift it. You have the power to change it. You have the power to transform it. The law of cause and effect, every cause, you being here is a cause. You joining the VIP room is a cause. It's a cause set in motion. These are the seeds that are planted, and every cause has an effect. The law of actually I said that one already. The law of polarity. There's contrast in what you're creating. When you go to achieve this result that you desire, its opposite is going to be available. Allow that opposite to give you new perspective, to give you contrast, to access a hidden power that is not available to those who do not have that awareness. The law of equivalent exchange. The law of equivalent exchange. For something to be received, something must be given up. Okay? If you want more in life, it's like giving up the comfort, giving up the excuses, giving up the old narratives, giving up the old stories. Who's had some old stories that you've been frequenting? So it's a sacrifice of those stories to create space for a new beginning. The law of rhythm. Life happens in seasons. Life happens in seasons. I feel like I'm in a different season right now than I was a few decades ago. You might be in an early season of your life where hustle is really important. Or perhaps you didn't hustle, so hustling is important now to create results. You might be in another season of life where you've hustled and now you're harvesting. What season are you in? Law of gestation says things take time. When you plant a tomato seed, you don't dig it up and goes, where's my tomatoes? Okay? It takes time. Law of detachment and divine timing. Not being attached. Recognizing that it can show up as you intend, or something even better can happen. Or something even better. We went through those pretty quickly. There is another process of integrating them so they're not just in your head, they're in your body, in your nervous system. Would you love to integrate them in your nervous system so you don't have to think about it? It's just natural action. The next step is I encourage you to join us in the VIP room. That's where we're going to be going in just 2 minutes. So before I share some final announcements and how is today's session, everyone? Give me some feedback in the chats in 1 or 2 words. We've focused on you stepping into your superpower identity. We've given you the formula. You know you can already access this through the portal of your physiology. We're going to go deeper into the language. Yeah, if you experience breakthroughs and you were so in the zone that you didn't put them in, put some B's in the chats. We'd love to see and celebrate those breakthroughs. You say, fantastic. Super. Oh, good to see you, Steve. Awesome to see you. Okay. So here's a few dates for you to put on your calendar right now. We're going to talk about them tomorrow. My 2 signature courses, they only happen once a year. One of them is coming up. It's called Neogenesis. Neogenesis is 4 days, total immersion to create a new beginning in any area of your life. You come with one area, like I'm going to transform my finances, I'm going to transform my life's purpose, I'm going to transform my health, my marriage, whatever it is. You come with clear, focused intention, and we guide you through a profound transformational process. I'm going to share more about it tomorrow. It's November 7th through the 10th. It's super fortunate because it's coming up. Normally people, if they meet me in January, they've got to wait a whole year for it. Who's already registered and coming, or you're a graduate of Neo, you've been there before and it's been very powerful? Raise your hand. So there's several in the room. The other one is our communication mastery and evolved NLP certification. Write the dates down. That one's happening July 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. It's total immersion. We go from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. The awesome news is when you take action and join us for SIA, you're going to get the replays from last year immediately. So you don't have to wait till next July. You can get the replays immediately tomorrow. We'll let you know how that works. So here's we'll share more case studies in the VIP room, and we'll share some more case studies tomorrow. Here's an example of goal achievement. This is Rebecca. She's a top real estate professional in Los Angeles. She says, Niurka was masterful in guiding me to release built up negative feelings and emotions. And this allowed me to let go and live in my true power with love. Within 1 year of attending Neogenesis, I quadrupled my business and became the #1 producing real estate agent in my Los Angeles office. Los Angeles is one of the biggest marketplaces in the world for real estate, and she's the top producer in that office. So, in a moment, we're going to be going into the VIP room. Who's never been in a VIP room with me before? If you've never been in a VIP room with me before, it's very different than the 90 minutes we just shared together. Because in the VIP room, we have a chance to interact where I can review your goals. I can support you with whatever has been blocking you personally. VIP room is the accelerator. The main session sets the stage. The VIP is the accelerator. I'm going to share with you one video of one of our advanced students. And he's going to be in the VIP room because he's always in the VIP room. And it's a joy to see his growth and evolution. And then I'll share with you what you get in the VIP room. Then we'll go into the VIP room and I'll give some final announcements and we'll complete our main session. So Kamal, I see you there, and you're always so consistent and you always show up, and Kamal has an extraordinary life. We met back in 2009. And when I met Kamal, and Kamal, you might want to share briefly because I have a video of you. I'm going to share the video, first. Is he was having a lot of limiting beliefs, and he showed up. He played full out. He literally walked around with his manual, and he went from limiting beliefs to generating over 500,000 with his business. He went from 500,000 to 5 million. He went from 5 million to 20 million. He went from 20 million to 36 million. And last I checked with you, you were on track for 40 million. And it's not just the finances. He has this deep, loving relationship with his beautiful wife. They travel all over the world. They go on vacations, I think, like every 2 months. His children are thriving. They're doing extraordinary. He lives in his dream home, drives his dream Ferrari. He's got a beautiful life, and he's consistent. That's the thing. He's achieving goals with velocity, and he shows up every single week. Every single week I see Kamal. So Kamal, I was going to show a video of you, but I don't know, since you're here, if you want to share briefly, where was life like before? Then you came, here's what changed. And what would you say to people that aren't yet in the VIP room about coming and joining us in the VIP room?
Definitely. Thank you, Niruka, and greetings to everybody who is here today. All I can I can say Niruka is my guru. Guru is somebody, who's a mentor who guides you through the entire process. And that's what I learned right when I came in 2009. Yes, I definitely had a lot of limiting beliefs, but I attended a similar session, what you're attending right now, just for a 45 minutes to an hour. And I don't know, there was a force that inclined me towards her. And that time I was still trying to make a living and making sure that my business thrives. So for me, taking the time, energy, and even the money was very, plus we had to fly to LA and take a hotel and stay. So all that, I was counting every penny of it. Like, is it going to be worth my time, energy, and I have to be away from my clients? But definitely that even when I was in the classes too with Niruka, I was very much connected, but I kept writing down notes. Her journal became my Bible, and that's what I believed in. And every time, whatever was there, at that time I still had limiting beliefs. And consistently after taking the classes, I said, what the heck? She told me I'm going to just take it as a Bible and just practice what I'm going to do. And I could see the changes coming to me on a consistent basis of what I was doing. I could see again the same thing. I would keep writing down my goals. In fact, I shared with her from 2009 to where I am today. My identity is being very superpowerly created, and I consistently follow on that. And that created a massive change. And right now, again, I went into a comfort zone. After I achieved most of them, I said, time to relax, life is great. But then I wanted to step up and keep raising my standards. And that is when again I got connected to Niruka, and I felt if I had done this even while I was still achieving my goals, I would achieve, and then after that I would go into my comfort zone. So at this stage, I set up a bar so high because normally what I wanted, I kept writing down. I want to move into my dream home, want to move into a country club. I wanted to play golf. I want to have a Ferrari. I wanted to take vacations every month. I've achieved most of everything whatever I needed. So I said now I need to raise standards up and now help those people create even more leaders. So my goal right now is to create 25 more effective leaders, not only for myself but also for their own growth. And that has consistently been happening. Even when I go for a vacation, I find something more to give back to even the people whom I connect with, and I see that it creates a connection, and we work something out together. So that is what has been happening. So I basically, would definitely say the VIP sessions definitely help you because it keeps rewiring yourself, like what she talked about, the neuroplasticity. It will create a new pathway, and then those limiting beliefs keep going down and down, and finally it vanishes because she teaches you about anchors, which I follow very consistently, and I believe in it. My courage, my fearlessness, and whatever I have inside me, my confidence, clarity, what I have, it gives me such a clear path to achieve those goals.
And
That's
it's
all I can
interesting
say.
when we
It's
first met
amazing.
Kamal, like you wouldn't speak that much in front of a group. Now he's like ready to share. He's like, I've learned so much, I grow so much. I'm excited to give. I'm excited to share. Can you all feel the enthusiasm in Kamal? He's inspired to give. He's inspired to share. Kamal, it is always a joy, and you're so consistent. You show up and you play full
Thank,
out, and I honor you. Give
thank
Kamal
you so
some
much.
love. And we'll continue this conversation in the VIP room. Let me share this final thing. The team's going to drop the link. Here is why you want to get into the VIP room. Take action right now. It's only $97. You're going to get 3 hours of advanced training in the VIP room. You're going to get live Q&A. You can ask me your questions about your goals. Your questions are going to be answered. I've been reading your questionnaires. On the spot, hands-on coaching is happening in the VIP room. You're going to meet my new dear friend, leading neuroscientist Josh Davis, Dr. Josh, who wrote the very first neuroscience-backed NLP book in history, okay? And he's going to give you a gift. Everybody that shows up in the VIP room is going to get an AI that is going to allow you to talk to this book so you understand even more of this teaching. He's going to give everyone in the VIP room that. It's called The Difference That Makes the Difference. And he's also going to be guiding a powerful NLP visualization exercise. And you're going to love him because his energy is different than mine. We're very complementary. And he's an extraordinary expert. You're going to be guided through transformational processes. You also get a digital product that's worth way more than the investment of VIP alone to achieve big goals. And you're going to get the entire replays, a custom dashboard with all of your materials, everything for only $97. Everything we do is always 100% guaranteed because we stand behind everything we do. We know the value that we bring. So that's what you get for VIP. It is a very powerful full stack of value. So there's the link. Take action now. If you're not yet in the VIP room, join us in the VIP room. We're going to be in there in 15 minutes. The crew is going to put a countdown clock for the VIP room in 15 minutes. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about inner obstacles that have blocked your goal achievement. We're going to talk about the subconscious mind. So you want to make sure you're back on time so we can guide you to uncover and learn how to remove those inner obstacles. And make sure you're here on time, ready to go. We begin at 11 a.m. sharp Pacific tomorrow. And for the main session, you want to make sure you're here 5 minutes early. All right, who's joining us in the VIP room? Awesome. And then tomorrow also, we're going to spin the wheel. Somebody gets to win a prize of up to $5,000. Anybody feeling lucky? Spinning the wheel. Okay, we're spinning the wheel. There's a $5,000 prize on here. That's going to happen tomorrow. All right, beautiful ones. How was today? Share with me in the chats in 1 or 2 words if you were to encapsulate the vibe of our experience. How was today? Excellent, says Christina. I'll be there. I'll see you, Margarita. Wonderful, great, amazing. Always a joy to be with you, Bill. Inspiring, great, amazing, awesome. All right, beautiful ones. The team will send a countdown clock. We'll see you in 15 minutes in the VIP room.